Welcome to the House that Hammer built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today. I am your host and your resident tribal chief of Raider Nation, Hammer.
Acknowledge me.
Hope everybody's having a great day wherever you guys are at. Yeah, a fucking really rough game last night as we took another L in the preseason to the Dallas Cowboys. But again, it's just a preseason. It really is not that serious. So it's coming on in here. Y'all know the routine. Those new in here, let me learn you real quick. Break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell. We'll go through the box score for a little bit until we finally get to hear from Antonio Pierce. I know a lot of people are here waiting on pins and needles. We talked about it last night. We heard the post-game presser. Still really hard to believe that they're going to make an announcement on this today. I still think it's going to be another day, maybe another 2 days. We shall see. But let's get into it. Salute to Ben Bad. Salute to Medi, one of one. Salute to Sarah, our mod mom. What's up? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's get into it. Final score last night was 27-12. We're only going through our guys. I really don't care what Dallas did. I am a little stunned that they had Trey Lance out there. Yes, Trey Lance, that same guy who was a former 49er, got traded to the Cowboys, and people within the media, really a lot of fans around the league too, have been shitting on this dude for a very, very long time, and he did have a pretty solid performance against us last night. But I digress. Let's talk about our guys. Let's talk about our Raiders. Let's talk about this QB battle. And ultimately, I definitely want to hear from you guys in the chat and see what you guys thought as well. I know a lot of you were in here last night. Appreciate each and every single one of y'all that pulled on up for that live with me and Graf. We're on for, I think, almost 4 hours. Fun, as always. It's always good to do games together. This is our thing. We've been doing this now for 3 years. So, Aidan O'Connell, 14-20, 96 yards, 4.8 on average, 1 touchdown, and unfortunately that pick six. Finished with a QBR of 76.2. Gardner Minshew, 10-21, 95 yards, 4.5 yards on average. No touchdowns, no INTs. His rating was a 60.6. And Carter Bradley, 8-for-13, 56 yards, 4.3 on average, 71.3 rating. For the running backs, Zeus, 4 carries for 25 yards, as long as it was that 17-yard run. Alexander Madison, never mind.
Right.
Coach Pierce is here. Terrible quality again. Let's get into it.
I'm going to go ahead and start off. Gardner Minshew is going to be the starting quarterback the 2024 season. Myself, Telesco, and Luke Getzey discussed it this morning. A lot of things went into it. It wasn't based off of last night. There's a lot of factors. So we feel like Gardner gives us the best opportunity to get off to a fast start, and that's what we're going with. We support him. Our team's behind it. Our staff's behind it. Our organization's behind it.
Good morning, Antonio. Not in terms of necessarily all the specifics, but what would you say outweighed in favor of Gardner over Aidan?
Yeah, experience, the operation, the processing, just everything we saw in practice. Some of it showed up in the games. A lot of stuff we can get better at. I don't think anything here is a finished product, but based off of where we want to go in the first quarter of the season, we feel like Gardner gives us the best opportunity.
Antonio, after you watch the film and have now sat here after 2 games, can you discuss with us your thoughts on your offensive line? Obviously, no Colton, but I'm just curious about your thoughts on the development of your offensive line.
I thought last night the protection was pretty good. I mean, the quarterback was clean for the most of the part. I don't think we gave up a sack. I think what you're seeing with Mumford and DJ, you see 2 guys that's really battling and competing. Really appreciate the 2 veterans that we had there, and Pete and Whitehair, and Andre James has been a true anchor and just a veteran presence for us. But credit to James, Craig, and Joe Philbin. They've done an outstanding job of just developing those guys. You know, at times it's not always perfect, especially when you get those younger guys in here, man. But the mentality is there, the finish, the strain. We're getting better and better each and every week, and you see some of our younger guys develop.
Antonio, now that you've made the decision, you've seen obviously weeks and weeks of him. Now you've seen 2 games. What are some of the things you'd like to see from Gardner going forward, the characteristics you want to see him leading this team?
Yeah, well, one, his personality is infectious. His energy is infectious. His leadership is infectious. Things of improvement, footwork, in the pocket, staying on script. There is some magic about him when he does break the pocket and does his thing, but there's a lot of times where, if the first, second read is there, we got to let it rip. So he understands that, and more importantly, taking care of the football.
AP, something that you mentioned after the Vikings game, we talked about it. The run defense was something that you were looking to improve. It seemed like the Cowboys had a good amount of success in that area yesterday. Is there something that kind of stood out to you when looking at the tape that's just kind of creating issues in that area?
Recording in progress.
Yeah, it's still an issue. I mean, it wasn't good enough. I think over 114 yards in the first half. Again, not the standard. A lot of leaky yards. We're not getting off blocks. We're not being violent enough up front. We're too talented, too skilled, too much length to stay blocked. And again, that's something I know our coach is going to harp on an individual, and we will continue to work on that. But that's not the standard. It's now been 2 weeks of it, and obviously we got to do more in practice.
Antonio, I know you've informed both quarterbacks. I'm just curious what the reaction was, not just from Gardner, but from Aidan moving forward.
Yeah. First and foremost, man, those two gentlemen are professionals. The way they've handled this competition has really resonated throughout our building, especially our staff and our team. They've cheered each other on. They've been good teammates. They brought out the best version of each other in practices and I think in the games. They both took it on the chin like a champ. And I told them, just both be ready. We saw National Football League, you never know. But Aidan is a young player that has a tremendous upside that I think will still be a starter here in this league. Excuse me, I think will be a starter at some point in this league, if it's this year or next year, but he will play in games. And I think, Gardner's done a good job of kind of like, being that older presence because he's played, a couple years in the league and he's been through some adversity. So that's been good for Aidan.
Antonio, could you please discuss Tommy Eichenberg and him and going forward?
Yeah, he's dealing with a lower leg injury. Hope to have him back here. He won't play in the preseason game, but hopefully we have him back by the regular season.
Hey, Antonio, when you've talked about the quarterback situation going forward, you've referred to the first quarter of the season getting off to that quick start. What does that mean that there's I don't even know if the right phrase is a shorter leash, so to speak, or that you're just looking, why do you phrase it that way, I guess?
Well, I do everything in sections. I mean, you can look at the whole season, but we want to get off to a fast start, right? We got 2 games on the road, 2 at home. That's the first quarter of the season for us.
Anything else, guys? All right, Coach, I think we're all good.
All right, thank you.
Holy shit. Oops. Yeah, we ain't doing that. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, coming on in, welcome to the house that Hammer built. Antonio Pierce just wrapped up his press conference after yesterday's loss to the Dallas Cowboys and has announced quarterback Gardner Minshew II has been named the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. I am stunned right now. I don't even want to talk about the box score anymore. We will open up the vault line. I want to hear, and I don't care. I want to hear new people right now too, but I want to hear from you guys on this. This just broke. You guys have been in here. You saw it live. I really want to hear your guys' opinions, your thoughts about this. I've said it time and time again. The one thing I was most worried about is the quarterback position going into the start of the season. I also said I don't care who is named the starter, but watching that game last night, it was kind of steering in the direction that I know a lot of people in here thought that it was going to be O'Connell. Unfortunately, it did not go that way. And again, I don't care who it is. As long as they feel that this is the quarterback that is going to help us succeed, if this is a quarterback that is going to get us wins, then I'm here for it. They've talked about his leadership over and over and over again. You heard Antonio Pierce just talk about that as well. Wow. Are y'all down for the vault line? Like, give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down. And I want to hear from people. I want to hear from new people if possible. But this has to happen right now. This has to happen. Thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat. And we do got the floating emojis back. Thank God. Get this off, okay. Forrest isn't too happy. Jordan Love sat a couple of years, pretty much sat until Rodgers was gone. Let's get this on the screen for you guys. There you guys see it right there. 347-471-0361. Call on in to the SeatGeek Vault line. Let's sound off. Let's talk about this right now, guys. Like, this just broke. Y'all were there for it. Y'all got to hear it. Y'all got to see it live. The quarterback room is our Achilles heel right now. Anthony has been like that going into, like, even before the season started. I like our defense. I don't care about the preseason and what was done, what was not done. They were not showing their whole hand, guys. So I'm fine with that. The only thing I was concerned about was the quarterback position. Minshew was like, yeah, Forrest, I get it. The numbers were telling, the performance was telling. You saw last night that they were giving these guys both opportunities. They aired it out a lot more than they did last week against Minnesota. This is very, very interesting right now. Like I said, still our team, right? Still our team. So whatever they decide, whatever decision that they made, and they made it now, Minshew's a starting quarterback, we need to be on board and be supportive of who the quarterback is and continue to be behind our team. That's it. Both these quarterbacks are Band-Aids for this team right now. Anthony, I think you were on Wasted live before. I think I saw you had said that before as well. And maybe that's exactly what it is. I'm on board and supportive, but man, yeah. Look, still our team, guys. I've said it. I didn't care. I had who I thought was going to be the starter, and he's not. It's fine. I'm not going to get myself worked up. I'm not going to feel any type of way. He's sending me the bat signal. Desert, as in sending me the bat signal or sending people here. Which one? Shout out to the two-time champ. Salute to all y'all, man. Salute to everybody in here. Bourbon, what's good, bro? Yeah, and Octavian, this is how they get. This is how they get. I'm not stressing right now. I'm not I don't know, because I saw a lot of people yesterday with some weird ass comments too, and I'm just like, really? This is what we're doing? Like, if we're already talking about April, if we're already talking about the draft April 2025, then go find another team to root for. If y'all are already talking, oh, let's do a mock draft. Because I don't have the energy for that shit. Like, look, I call things when they're good. I call things when they're bad. I call players out when they're fucking up. I give them their flowers when they're doing well. Like, either you are Raider Nation or you're not. That's it. We got our first call. Raider Nation news today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Steve. 10 Commandments, calling from D.C.
What's going on, man? Sound off.
Basically, I wanted to talk about the fact that the offense is not going to look this way because they're doing a lot of passing right now, and I think that this is going to be a more run-oriented team. And I think that that's the only reason why Minshew was chosen over him, because of the fact that they're going to be more ground-oriented. I think what you're seeing in the preseason is not them. I think that they're trying so hard to find out who the quarterback is that they're running an offense that we're not going to see. Hello?
I'm here. I hear you. And I love everything you're saying right now because I'm definitely looking at it the same exact way. Like, look, they got Brock Bowers here for a reason. And it's going to be to run that 12 personnel. It's going to be a more run-heavy style offense. You're going to see play action. Like, there, again, preseason, you don't show your whole hand. You don't show the entire fucking playbook.
Yeah.
I'm good with the decision. There's no need for me to feel any type of way. This was a decision made between Telesco, between Getsy, between AP and the rest of that coaching staff, who they felt was best fit for this team to succeed moving forward. I'm good with it.
Yeah. We'll see. I think the bigger issue right now, in my opinion, I think that we actually moved the football. Our red zone is still a problem.
Yeah.
But I think the even larger problem is the fact that Tyree Wilson even against the second stringers, I wish that we discussed this more often, is that Tyree Wilson against the second stringers still did not show any impact or any like he graduated from the sack camp. But I know you want to talk about the quarterbacks, but
No,
man,
we could
Tyree Wilson is
we
my
could
problem.
we can talk about Tyree right now, and I'm glad that you
Oh, okay.
mentioned it because me and
Whoa.
Wasted talked about it earlier this morning, and there were things that I saw because obviously I was here last night. I watched the whole game with you guys, and I saw a couple of times where like he was trying to make things happen, but he was also being held like a motherfucker. But also, we were talking about it, and it's like, look, when Patrick Graham took over that defense and had like handcuffs off, was able to call his defense last season, where did we see Tyree Wilson? On the interior. You were using him a lot on the edge throughout this preseason when you still have a guy that had a breakout season and Malcolm Kuntz is going to be there as a starting edge rusher. I would like them, or I would have liked them, to put him more on the interior a little bit more and get the reps on the interior because I think that's where he might be best fit. Like Kuntz, Wilson, Wilkins, Max. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
How would you feel about them? Because I know that there was rumors that Yannick Ngakoue had not been signed. I don't know if he had been signed yet. But them going after Yannick Ngakoue just as a safety valve for that defensive end position.
Not taking a flyer on Yannick Ngakoue again. Not after what he did with us the last time. And I called him out time and time again. His coverage was terrible. He couldn't angle pursuit if there was a run, let alone like a swing pass thrown in his direction. He would never be able to be there and make the plays happen. Yannick is not a guy that I have on my radar. I would not want him back in silver and black.
Okay. Well, that's all. I just wanted to call and talk about those issues. But that's what I feel as far as the quarterback is concerned. I think that the offense that we're currently seeing, not to mention the fact that I forgot about this point. You know, it was funny when Carr was here with Gruden. Gruden actually gave him 2 plays, and he told him put them in the right play for the defense. I wonder if this offensive coordinator applies those same philosophies because what we were seeing out there, I didn't see a lot of audibling. As a matter of fact, I saw more audibling from the third-string quarterback than from the first 2. But I wonder if that was if they have the freedom to audible to put us in the right play and where they just forced to run whatever was called. You know what I'm saying?
Time will tell. Let's get into the regular season and see what Minshew does. Let's see what Getsy and the rest of this offense can do. But I definitely appreciate the call.
Yeah. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Guys that are coming on in, welcome. Yes, breaking news broken moments ago by head coach Antonio Pierce. The Raiders have announced that Gardner Minshew has been named the starting quarterback for week 1 of the Raiders 2024 season. Guys, again, if you want to call in, the vault line is open right now. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I want to hear how you're feeling about last night's game. I'm trying to see it where it is in the chat, and I gotta put it back again for you guys if you want to call in, but I want to hear from new people as well, man. This is your platform right here. This is the time for you guys to speak your mind on the current state. Let's go. There it is on the screen, 347-471-0361. I will not stay on very long. I know Wasted was on. I'm not sure if he still is, but there it is, guys. 347-471-0361. Call in and sound off. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on this announcement that was just broken a couple of minutes ago. I'm still trying to, again, I don't feel any type of way, but it's just like, yo, Minshew's our starter. Okay. Kenny Clark said no phone calls for me. Okay, fair enough. If you guys have any questions or you guys want to, obviously, if you guys don't want to call in, you guys can still vent your sentiments in the chat. We've already been on for 22 minutes. Everything seems to be good. It looks like everything's running good so far. I need you guys to let me know, like, is it lagging at all? Were there any issues? Like, we've been on like 20 minutes. Are we good right now? Kenny Clark said we could talk off the air. Okay. I don't think Wilson is ever going to live up to number 7 as an edge. However, I think he could be dominant interior line. He can't pass rush from the edge, but he can inside. That's a valid-ass point right there. That's a very valid point. Salute to you, Bourbon. Bourbon, good. Like, no lags, no nothing. Anthony, same thing. We're good. We're good. I know we had the little technical difficulties last night. I figured out what it was, but I think when me and Graf do games, I'm probably just gonna do it the way that he does it with StreamYard. If I'm doing my regular shows, keep it the way I've been doing it. But also, if I'm gonna have guests on, I'll keep it on this platform. I know a way. I know what it is. Whatever happened on Restream, the audio didn't come through, but I did some testing and it was fine. Had some buffering, but could have been my Wi-Fi. I'm looking at yeah, because I'm looking at the drop frames right now. The drop frames, it's showing like not even a full percent. So I guess we are in the green right now, because the last couple of lives, I know there were a lot of glitchy issues. I've looked back at them and I was just like, damn, like this is not Hammer doing a live. This is not a Hammer production. Like they're paying Minshew more that have made difference. 2 years, $25 million, if I remember correctly, was like 15, 16 million guaranteed. And the one thing I did say as it pertained to that contract, that signing, was, do you really pay a backup quarterback that much money? Guess not now. He is our starter. But the thing with O'Connell was, the one thing with O'Connell was, and I had said this numerous times, look, as a starter last year, he didn't do too bad, and we don't include that first start against the Chargers at all. I don't count that one. But I do believe, realistically, and I've said this several times in the past, from what I've seen so far, I felt that he was best fit as a backup quarterback. He's got to prove otherwise now. Last year's preseason, he did a solid job, and I was like, okay, that's going to be our backup. We'll be all right. Right now, as it stands, he didn't do too bad. He had a lot more opportunities last night. That pick six was god-awful. Like, you were zeroed in on Bryant the entire time that you threw that. Laube was to the right, swung out. He was open. Could have made something, even got a couple of yards on the reception by Laube, but you didn't. You went the opposite direction. And again, you stared down your target way too long. That was the end result, a pick six. Armando, Hammer, we got weapons on offense and defense. AOC is still with us. We got to stand by Coach AP's decision, rise to the challenge. It's the Raiders, not the Raider. There you go. Valid ass point there, bro. Appreciate you. That was it, Adam. That was the thing. Last night was when they tried to give him the fair shake. The one thing that turned me off last night was the fact that you wouldn't let him go back out there the very next series to at least try to redeem himself after that pick six. That's all. And if you guys agree with me, you can give me a thumbs up in the chat. But I really think that right there was one mistake that they made last night by not giving him one more series to try to redeem himself after that pick six. I'm not a fan of a 2 QB system. I don't think it's going to be a 2 QB system. I don't. I really don't. I don't see it going that way. I feel that if things look rough for Minshew the first couple of weeks, then they'll probably just go and say, hey, yo, time for you to come on in, man. My biggest thing with Minshew is he doesn't take long to read plays, takes a few seconds, and wants to scramble. John B., salute to you. I know a lot of people have mentioned that over the last couple of lives, and not even just mine, but like Graphs, Wasted's, people have mentioned that. And I kind of saw a little bit of that last night. AOC should be starting. One bad play doesn't define anything. SP, it's a fact. Like I said, I really do believe that they did it wrong with calling it a day for him after that pick six. And like I guarantee you he was in his head after that, like, yeah, we do got a call there. Raider Nation News today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Raider Rudy from College Station, Texas.
What's up, bro?
Hey, so I think it's a good decision, in my opinion. I did like OC. I was going to rock with them this year, and then we got Minshew, and it was kind of like, okay, Minshew, okay, like, when he comes in, he does good. He's not, an elite quarterback, but he does good, right? But man, with this shaky offensive line that we have, I think it's the best decision. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing, though, with our offensive line, like we have guys, some of our starters were not out there last night. Miller's still not back yet. JPJ just got taken off the PUP list earlier this week, so he's not really doing contact anything with his teammates right now. I think, realistically, I think for our offensive line, we're probably looking at it, and I'm going left to right when I say this. You got Colton Miller, JPJ, Andre James, Dylan Parham, and Thayer Mumford. Like, that should be our starting offensive line. I think once all of them are together, I think it'll be different. Like, Andres Pete is just, he's not him. DJ Glaze was out there again last night. He did a pretty solid job. Parham was out there for quite some time last night, getting the reps at right guard, as we were used to seeing him at left guard last year, and also he filled in at center once as well. So I think that where I see our offensive line, I think it's going to be just fine as long as those are the guys that are going to be there come week 1 against the LA Chargers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're coming off, the PUP list and stuff, and that's the only reason why I say shaky, because they could come back in, right, and, like, re-injure. I mean, obviously we don't know how exactly the injuries are, right? Like, they're out, they're in, and then, it's kind of wishy-washy. You're like, okay, what's really going on? Right. So that's the only reason why I say that. And then our running backs, I mean, they don't look – I mean, yeah, Zamir has his little moments, right, where he bursts out the line and you're like, oh, shoot. And then you see him kind of get stuffed and you're like, okay. And again, like you said, it's not – starting, right? But I don't know. My thing is, I guess with the the running backs not being like, we don't know what they're really going to be, right? 1,000-yard rushers, maybe 900. We don't know with Zeus, but I think it's good to have the legs too from Gardner. It's pretty much what I'm getting at, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. Definitely appreciate the call, my guy.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Now, I'm looking at what you guys are saying in the chat, and like I said, offensive line, things are going to be different, and I'm good with it. Again, even the blocking schemes, you're not going to show everything. You're not going to show everything. But again, we have guys banged up. JPJ was just recently taken off the PUP list. I saw the video of him practicing indoors a couple of days ago. I haven't heard anything on Miller. Munford, we knew about the little finger injury, whatever it was. He played last night. Even if Miller's not ready come week 1, you kick Munford to the left tackle. You put Glaze at right tackle. Let them handle business. I'm praying that JPJ is ready. I know, and I said this the other day, coming off the PUP list, he has to play catch-up. And if he wants to be on that starting O-line, he's got to catch up quickly. We got another caller. Raider Nation News Today. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Devontae, and I'm calling from Arizona.
What's up, bro? Sound off.
What's up, bro? Just so you know, Hammer, I'm a huge, big fan of you, Graphic Raider, and Wasted. But I was going to say is I'm okay with the decision because of the fact that we need somebody that has more experience than Aidan O'Connell. I feel like that if we have him keep Persetti, and then maybe Aidan O'Connell still can wake up and figure out how to get better on our off time when Gardner Minshew is playing. I feel like that if he can, if Aidan O'Connell can fix his issues during when doing practice with Gardner Minshew is starting, I think he can get better, getting better in a down line one. And I think in a few games, if Gardner Minshew doesn't do good, Aidan O'Connell will take over the season.
The thing is with Aidan O'Connell, and he got a couple of starts last year when Garoppolo was benched for the rest of the season. He had that time to pretty much show what he was capable of, but he also was working very, very hard trying to continue to develop his skills throughout the offseason. And a lot of people were giving him a lot of credit with that. You saw posts, you saw people putting out articles about it as well. I, honest to God, was under the belief he's going into year 2. He's got the full offseason to work hone his craft. Last week, I really didn't feel like he had gotten enough reps. And it's kind of like, it's crazy because you look back at last week and see all the reps that Minshew got, and then you look at last night's, and it's just like, it was almost like the writing was already on the wall. Like, you could say all the nice things like, oh yeah, O'Connell is our guy right now. He's going to be getting first team reps, da-da-da-da-da. And then we get into training camp, and it was completely different. Oh, they're going to be splitting reps, da-da-da-da-da. And now it's made official less than a half hour ago. Gardner Minshew is now the Raiders starting quarterback for week 1 against the LA Chargers.
And that is very true too. But and another thing too, everybody needs to think like this too. We did the same thing to Derek Carr versus with Aidan O'Connell. When Derek Carr was rookie, we threw him in the line of the Wolves, and he started as a rookie too. And the history is repeating itself from last year with Aidan O'Connell. I don't know if you realize that, but it is repeating itself.
O'Connell was not developed the way he should have been by Josh McDaniels. He pretty much wasn't doing what McDaniels wanted, what McDaniels expected out of him, and had him as the emergency backup at the start of the season. When Garoppolo went down that first matchup going into the Chargers game, it was like McDaniels wanted to be that asshole and prove his point. Like, he goes in, he starts O'Connell. O'Connell gets sacked 6 or 7 times by Khalil Mack alone, and it was like, see, I told you so. Like, he's not ready. We go through it again. We have the game against the Bears. Garoppolo goes down. You have Brian Hoyer starting, getting the dog shit kicked out of us. 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you want to put O'Connell in. McDaniels is fired.
Yeah.
O'Connell is named the starter the rest of the season. He finishes, 4-4? 4-4 as a starter? 5-4 as a starter? Like, I don't know what the difference is that they saw, but at the same time, I can't say that because I wasn't at training camp. Obviously, the reps at training camp definitely played a role, as well as these first 2 preseason games. They made their decision. They're sticking with it. And again, there's no reason anybody in Raider Nation right now should feel any type of way. They said it was going to be a QB competition. It was a QB competition. They think that Minshew is the best player right now at quarterback to succeed and help this team win. We have to be on board with that. We need to continue to support that as well as our team. That's it.
That's very true. And that's very true. And I think that everybody right now is not like, I'm not surprised. To be honest with you, I'm not not surprised because, me coming from, I coached the game before and I played the game before, so, my thing is that now is we still have to figure out what type of guys and other guys that we have on the team that needs to step it up. And I think that, it's a lot of stuff that we got to sit here and go back into the board again. And, I was watching, somebody I was watching, they were saying that it's a lot of plays that nobody's seen since, during the training camp that they're not showing the games and preseason games. And I was like telling my other Raider friend this morning, I was like, look, it's going to be times where you're going to see a lot of different reads or different plays that they're working on, and they're not going to show it in the preseason.
Right.
And I was telling the preseason, and I told my friend too, preseason is basically a game for what it shows you what you guys are at, on what type of level you guys are at, what level you guys are on a team. And I told him too was that everybody's not going to be, like 100% good on during the first preseason, or you're not going to have everybody's going to be set to play 100% because it's like, okay, it's preseason. I'm not trying to be messed up, but nobody gives a fuck about preseason because that's where you that's what you supposed to develop and see what you got in you guys. And I was telling them too that, like with the whole situation, because I'm be honest with y'all. I'm a huge big Derek Carr fan. When we let go with Derek Carr, I was mad and I was upset, but I was like, you know what? It's what it is. I don't own the team. I don't sit here and do anything for the team. You know what I mean? But I'm just a fan, and I love my team. It's just that with this situation is okay with me. It's just because Gardner Minshew has more experience than Aidan O'Connell does. And I know everybody says, well, Gardner Minshew is basically a backup quarterback. Well, you can't say that because obviously he got the starting job. He's not just a backup quarterback, you know. But I hope that he does good this year. And I was going to say too, keep doing your work, my brother, and keep it strong. All right.
Appreciate you, bro. Take care.
You too, man.
So we talked about this the other day in regards to how McDouchebag set this team back a couple of years. You put this money into a couple of different players. All three of those players are gone. You gave Carr a contract extension, played 1 year, you got rid of him. You gave Darren Waller a bag, you traded him to the New York Football Giants. He is now retired. You gave Hunter Renfrow a bag. And now Renfrow is bagging groceries somewhere. Like, Ziegler wanted CJ Stroud. You didn't. We see what Stroud did last year. You set this team back. And look, I'm calling it like I'm seeing it right now. I'm not holding back with what I'm saying. Like, and if you guys think I'm wrong about that shit, I don't know what to tell you. But he definitely set this team back, and now this is where we're at. Gardner Minshew, who's been a bit of a backup journeyman, is now the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders come week 1. We got a couple of weeks till the start of the regular season. Starters will not be playing next week. Somebody had talked about Davante Adams. Now, we saw the presser earlier this week where Davante said that he hadn't played a preseason game in about 8 years, which we determined was a lie. He played in 2023, he played in 2019, and he played in 2018, if I remember correctly. They asked about Davante Adams last night, and this was after the game. They asked AP about it, and he said he's dealing with a little foot injury. Realistically, we all know that is bullshit. We know that they had to talk after the reporters were like, well, Davante said he hasn't played a preseason, da-da-da-da-da. They had a little talk, and Tay probably was like, dude, I don't want to play. So for him to try to, he's dealing with a foot. Bullshit! Yeah, I'm not buying it. That is what it is. Don't forget Chandler Jones. Yeah, Chandler Jones as well. And I still have not heard anything in regards to that money and if it's off the books, whatever the case may be. But, his little mental breakdown, the money that he got as well. Like, he set this team back, man. He set this team back ridiculously. Choosing between these two QBs is like choosing between our two presidential candidates we deserve and should have better. This is what happens when you sit in the sidelines during draft and free agency. Good God, Roman. Good Lord. Preseason is like your heavyweight champion getting beat up in sparring. Raiders going to do good. There you go, Armando. I hate to harp on the past, but I wish 2023 draft had gone differently. Maybe a different head coach and a different coaching staff, it probably would have. At least we got Jacoby out of the deal. Jacoby has been solid. But I will talk about who really has stood out for us in this these first 2 weeks of the preseason, and that's Trey Tucker. A 48-yard bomb that he caught last night. The special teams and the yards he's getting on special teams. I'm really loving the new kickoff format. So they showed a fun stat from last season to this year in regards to the return rate for the returners. It was like 20% last season. The return rate as of right now, going through these first 2 weeks of the preseason with this new kickoff, 80%. People miss that stuff. people used to love watching kick returns and guys taking it to the house. Like, I'm really liking it. And again, it's more for safety reasons as well. They're trying to protect their assets. They're trying to do their best to protect the players, and I get it. So I'm good with it right now. Trey Tucker is legit. Yeah, DJ Turner has not, and DJ Turner was another guy that was like, he could be a really solid special teams weapon, but he's another guy that could be there in the slot as well. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Defensive side of the ball, Jacorian Bennett in his second year, and I said I think he's going to have a breakout year his sophomore year. He's done pretty solid. Jack, of course, he's done solid. I know people are going to be like, well, what about the run defense? Yes, we've given up over 100 yards on the ground these first 2 weeks. Again, we're not seeing stunts. We're not seeing a whole bunch of blitzes. I'm not concerned right now. But I like what our offensive weapons are doing. I'm really liking our corners right now. Nate Hobbs got involved last night as well. He was doing his thing. I'm good with everything we have right now. We're going into this week 1. Gardner Minshew is a starter. We'll see what happens at SoFi. That's it. Let's get some picks for him while we still can. Who are we talking about? Like, I heard somebody yesterday talking about, oh, if we trade Devontae, and I don't know why we're starting this shit back up again. Like, oh, they should trade him to the Ravens and we should get Zay Flowers. I'm just like, you guys really need to stop this shit. Deathpile, thank you. Thank you. I hate the new kickoff rule. It don't feel like real football. That anticipation. Anthony, and we talked about this a couple of times as it pertains to the new kickoff format. Like, I did a lot of special teams growing up, and I loved the kickoffs. I was that player that was very, very violent. I loved helmet-to-helmet shots, but you see how the league is trying to be more cautious and be a little bit safer, so I get it. You think Minshew is going to make it through the whole season? George, we shall see. Let's take it one game at a time. Right now, I would say that, but I'm wrong. Right now, our next focus is our finale, our preseason finale against the 49ers. We evaluate the rest of these guys. Like I said, don't expect any starters to be out there, but they need to evaluate the rest of these guys to see who's going to make the 53-man roster. And after that, we look forward to week 1 as we go to SoFi, take over as always because we own LA against the LA Chargers, and we'll see what he does when he has all his weapons on offense. He'll have Tay, he'll have Jacoby, he'll have Trey, he'll have DJ, he'll have Brock, he'll have Mayer, he'll have Zeus. And I'm really curious to see what the starting O-line is going to look like come week 1 as well. We have to give special teams their flat. Special teams, and people seem to really not give them a lot of attention or props, but special teams is a very, very important aspect of the game, and special teams as a whole has done very, very solid these first 2 weeks of the preseason. So we have been on here for 45 minutes. I don't think there is much more to say. The news broke. Antonio Pierce announced it. The Raiders have named Gardner Minshew II the starting quarterback for week 1. I'm good with it. And I think you guys should be as well. We do have a live this week. I think I'm setting it up for Thursday with CG Ruthless. He covers the San Francisco 49ers. We're going to have him on to do a matchup preview. If I'm around, there'll probably be some pressers throughout the week. We'll obviously be here, and we'll make sure to bring those to you guys live. And I think me and East Coast are trying to figure out something as well where we can try to finally get a live going together. But I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all that pulled on up for this live. If you haven't already, on your way out, do me a favor, break them thumbs, hammer that sub, smash the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions in the house that Hammer built by the nation, for the nation, Raider Nation, news today. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. Whether COVID is around or not, you should always remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie. Raider Nation till I die. Till next time, y'all. And of course, as always, on my New York, peace, love, and positivity. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, y'all. I'm outro.